This morning, hundreds of people in Boulder County are under an evacuation order because of a wildfire that's burning there.
It started yesterday afternoon near Sunshine Canyon. And here's what the evacuation map looks like right now. This affects about 450 people living in that part of Boulder County.
90s reporter Angeline McCall is live from that area for us this morning. And Angeline, people were hoping to be able to go back home last night. Unfortunately, though, we know that didn't happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, we know that at this time people are waking up in the morning hoping for better news, and really not much has changed. Mandatory evacuation orders are still in place and roads are still blocked here. This is off of Linden Lane, and people cannot come in or out of this neighborhood here that is right by where the wildfire happened and is still currently active. Right now, we know that about 16 acres have burned, 20% contained, and hundreds of firefighters have been working to control it throughout the overnight hours and early this morning as well. Now, this all happened at around 2 o'clock yesterday. We know that this fire began as a house fire and then it became a wildfire. In total, almost 170 homes are empty this morning, with residents heeding those evacuation orders. Longtime residents say this is routine now, with one woman saying this is the 4th time she's been forced to leave home. Other residents are watching the evacuation orders closely and saying these kind of moments put things into perspective.
It also lets me realize, what's important to me. So I got some of the kids' pictures, and I have important photo albums and the clothes I need to wear, and the rest is not that important.
As far as the next update from Boulder County, we are still waiting on that ourselves, but we know that they are hoping to update people sometime this morning or later today. But as of right now, we know that a lot really hasn't changed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and Angeline, we know that this could be really triggering for people as we come up on the 1-year mark of the Marshall Fire. I think a lot of people saw the alert come across their phone and likely thought, oh no, not again.
Yeah, I think people in Boulder County, especially me knowing many people that were impacted by the Marshall Fire, having covered it for the past year, a lot of people feel like Boulder County has just not really caught a break. The Marshall Fire happened almost a year ago now, December 30th, so 10 days to that 1-year mark that we're away from currently. And then after that, it was the NCAR fire, and then you have this fire. And so just, I think to people in this community, in this area, it really feels like things haven't really changed. And of course, every single time one of those warnings come down or evacuation orders, it is a moment of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And unfortunately, that's the reality right now.
Yeah, just the alerts, seeing the smoke, and then you see the winds. I mean, yeah, it can be very scary, especially this time of year with it being so close to the Marshall Fire as well. Angeline, thank you.
And this is not the first wildfire in that area. Also, back in March of 2017, there was one a little farther east near the Centennial Trailhead. It burned 74 acres before firefighters got it under control. More than 400 people had to evacuate for nearly 2 days during that fire. Fortunately, though, no homes burned. Investigators said that fire was human caused.
So speaking of those alerts, the fire happening right now brings up some memories of the Marshall Fire nearly 1 year after it began. And the response shows how Boulder County's emergency communications really have changed since last year. Emergency managers used more tools to reach people with evacuation orders yesterday. The county sent an Amber Alert style message to all the cell phones in the evacuation zone. The county has been able to access the system to send wireless emergency alerts since 2019, but they didn't end up getting it up and running until months after the Marshall Fire. It's meant to reach all people in a given area without people having to opt in. The city of Boulder also used a new system to share evacuation information. They updated the website Zone Haven to show the areas under pre-evacuation orders. People in Boulder can sign up to get alerts through that website. Hearing about evacuations and seeing all that smoke may have been especially difficult for survivors of the Marshall Fire.
Yeah, that's exactly what Angeline was just talking about. Next week, unfortunately, will mark 1 year since that fire burned through Louisville and Superior, and it was Colorado's most destructive fire ever. But there are mental health resources available for survivors having a really tough time with that 1 year mark and seeing today's fire. They are up on your screen right now. Community Foundation Boulder County is paying for free counseling through Jewish Family Service. And then, of course, you can also get help 24/7 by calling or texting Colorado Crisis Services. That number is 844-493-8255.
It's 6:38 right now. Some other news we're following this morning. Denver will stay under an emergency declaration to free up resources to help migrants until at least the middle of January. Denver City Council extended Mayor Michael Hancock's emergency order yesterday because that initial order only lasts for a week. The city says 134 more migrants arrived in the city between Sunday and Monday. In total, more than 1,000 have come to Denver in the last 10 days. About half are staying in emergency shelters with the city or other organizations. The city says it desperately needs volunteers and donations and also has some job openings at the shelters.
Tomorrow, a Trump administration rule that limits people from seeking asylum in the U.S. is set to expire. But yesterday, the Supreme Court temporarily blocked the end of those restrictions. Conservative states are pushing to keep the rule called Title 42. Yesterday, Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts ordered the rule will stay for the moment, but didn't rule out lifting restrictions on schedule. The federal government has until this afternoon to respond.
And one thing we want to know about the weather, the stats we have today, going for a high of 45 degrees today, and the normal high for this time of year is 43, so actually a degree or two above normal. 69, the record high from 1894, and the record low, 16 below from 1990.